Welcome to the Laughs in the Dark podcast. Spooky view.
Welcome back to Laughs in the Dark podcast. I'm your co-host, Rodnique.
And I'm your co-host, Carissa.
And Chris is going to read us a story.
I am.
What story are you going to read?
Well, this one is on r/scary stories. It's one of the better known ones. It's one of the best ones on there.
Okay.
I had not read it before. It is by user Joshua Andrew 1985. That will be up on the screen from 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just jump right in. It is called This Is Not a Suicide Note.
It already feels like one.
No.
Just the title alone, you're already incriminating yourself.
No, it's specifically not.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically not a suicide note.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. 3 months ago, I learned of my...
Whoa. Aren't you reading the title?
I said, it's called This Is Not a Suicide Note.
Oh, okay.
3 months ago, I learned of my uncle's passing. We weren't particularly close, but he left me one of his houses in the will. I was touched, but just wanted to sell it off. I am a fairly new father of twin girls, and I didn't need another thing to manage right now. To speed up the process, I decided to travel across the country to live in the house until a sale was assured. My job just requires a laptop and phone, so I was approved to work remotely for the time being. Unfortunately, my wife had to stay at her job, so I had to come alone.
Hold. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My problem already.
Yeah.
So you don't have time to worry about this house because you just had 2 twin girls. So your solution is to leave to go live in this house and leave your wife alone, not only with a job that she clearly has to be in person for, but also 2 small babies.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Yes, of course.
So it's sounding like to me that you have more than enough time to manage this. If you have time to move across the country to live in the house until it sells, what if it's not in selling condition?
Well, yeah, so he's going to live in it, right? He says he just wants to sell it off because he doesn't want to have to manage that. So what he's going to do is he's going to go deal with it real quick and see what it's looking like and try to sell it off. That way he can come back and not have to deal with it anymore. That sounds like that's what his plan is. He doesn't want to have to manage it long term, I believe. Now, should he leave his wife and 2 children? I didn't say that. I did not say that.
I'm just, okay.
I think that's where his head is, though.
I'm just saying you ain't got no other family members in the area. You can't Google a local realtor you can call for help. Like, the fact that you have to go out there and live in the house until you get it sold is really... You could at least one of the kids, like, goddamn. Like, there's no...
Twins got to stay together.
It's only one mama. There's only one mama.
Well, you can't keep the twins apart.
Let's hope you have a wife when you come back home.
Damn. I'm just rereading that part because he said to speed up the process, I decided to travel across the country to live in it until a sale was assured.
I'm failing to see the speedy part.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how living in it is going to get you speedy on that.
It's not. Sounds like you just want an excuse to get away from your family for a while.
Oof. Yeah, the next sentence alludes to that.
Okay, go ahead.
At first, I treated it as a mini vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You called it.
All I know is when you get back, your wife needs to have a mini vacation.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Book her a weekend at the Four Seasons or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and leave her the fuck alone.
Well, with the title of this, I don't know if we're going to get that far.
He better die.
Damn, that is so mean. I had hoped it would only last a week, but the process was more involved than I thought.
Shocker. More shocked. I'm shocked and in awe.
It took more than a week to sell a house.
Crazy. It's almost like you've never bought or sold a home before.
Literally, like,
And I've never bought or sold a home before.
exactly. What are you talking about? I figured it would just be a week. And did that include travel time?
Right.
Probably 4 days. Like,
Also, I get that you don't want the house. You don't want nothing from your uncle. You don't want nothing. You don't want to go through the house. You don't want to see if there's pictures or heirlooms or...
no.
Oh, okay.
No. He said they weren't particularly close. He doesn't take me for an heirloom kind of guy.
Valuables, I mean, it sounds like Uncle had money. He left you one of his houses. Yeah. That nigga got money. So it's some jewels, it's some hidden something. It's a first edition book in there at the least. Like, and especially if you're gonna be spending a whole week out there, you got a whole 7 days to look for something.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's just keeping that under wraps. Maybe that's really why he went out there.
I guess. It better be. There better be some type of ulterior motive because this is not. So far, I'm just pissed at this guy.
I know.
So far, I just hate him because he's a shitty father and husband. So let's figure out what he has to say.
Is it bad that I'm feeling in my heart and if the roles were reversed and she left and said I need to go? My aunt gave me this house, blah, blah, blah.
That would be warranted. You just had 2 kids.
I knew it. I knew that was coming. She just had 2 kids. He needs to get off his ass and start.
And do something. Correct. I don't see how I'm wrong here. I don't see how I'm wrong here.
That's insane.
She just put her body through growing 2 additional human beings for his ass.
For him is crazy. Is it for him? Who? For them to have children? Is it for him?
If
Only? Just him? I did this for you.
I mean,
I didn't want these.
I don't know her life. I know she's got a shitty husband. That's all I know.
So I was right to say if these roles were reversed. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, she deserves
She
it.
deserves it. She
does.
Just a girl. Like, she's just out here.
She just put her body through. She just put her body through a life-changing experience. Her hormones are going crazy. Her body is not the same as it was before. She probably doesn't look the same as she was before. Who knows when the last time she had a shower before she had 2 motherfucking kids at the same motherfucking time. Let's not even talk about the ripping and tearing that can happen. Absolutely, she needed a little vacation at 100%. Yep, and I hope he got a real push present. Pushing out 2 kids, please. That is a labor of love. Okay?
I guess. No.
I was fixing my slipper.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I can see what you're saying, but I still feel as though even if there was a surrogate mother involved, I think you would say the same.
No. If there was a surrogate involved, then I would not say the same thing.
Then I was a deadbeat for leaving the 2 twins at home with him while he works.
Yeah, I would.
You call her deadbeat?
Because where are you going?
Okay.
We just had 2 kids. Where are you going? The fact that any parent is leaving and we just had 2 kids is a problem.
Twins.
Right? If it was mom, I could let it go because she just had a baby. She just went through all of that. There's a lot happening with her right now. Dad, you ain't got no fucking excuse. What? Your hand hurt from getting it squeezed in the labor room? Okay, grow the fuck up.
That's fair. Yeah, I do like that. I do like that we're just up and going. Like, and my favorite part about it is that, oh, you can't leave because you're working.
Right. But I can work from anywhere, so I'm just gonna go.
By myself.
Oh.
Gotta take these damn kids with you.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. I agree. I didn't.
At the very least, take 1 kid. So then at least one of us got 1 kid. We're both equally as overwhelmed, right? I'm not even saying take both of them with you.
You're losing me with that.
I'm not even saying take both of them. I'm not saying you got to take both of them, but you at least have to take 1. I'm not doing this by myself. 2 kids, 1 me? Fuck that.
Nah, you gotta keep the twins together.
It's not like they're going to be separated forever. It's for a couple of weeks.
That girl has my face!
It just feels wrong. I don't know morally if that's allowed. So loud, it's like amputating and then just reattaching later. It's just we'll have to ask Ken about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel in my heart that it's just incorrect to do. Okay, I had a realtor taking care of most things, but after a month, I'm still here. I noticed things going wrong right away. Stuff was never where I last placed it. I'd see shadows out of the corner of my eye.
Number one, a month is crazy. Okay.
Yeah, call it at that time.
Right. Call it after 2 days. You got 10 business days to get the fuck back here. I got 2 kids sitting here, me and 2 kids, and you are like, yeah, I'm gonna be gone for like maybe a week or 2 to try to sell this house, and you're gone for a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time you come back, them papers gonna be ready for you, buddy. I'm sorry. They gonna be ready for you, buddy. But to be fair, I don't know if I would, send my kid to live in some random old house. So, I'll give him that.
Yeah, you're
when
newborns. All right, bye.
That's why you shouldn't have fucking left in the first place.
I didn't say you should have left. Never said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, sending them off seems a little strange.
Yeah. Don't give him.
Especially with if we're going to bring hormones into it, she ain't sending those kids off. She just went through a labor of love.
That's true.
So, yeah, they ain't going nowhere. I'd see shadows out of the corner of my eye. I lost track of time constantly. I thought it was caused by stress, loneliness. Except for the few times the realtor came by with the prospective buyers, the house was the quietest place I'd ever been in. Before I completely lost my mind, the neighbor came by with a dog. She was an elderly woman who explained that she had been dog-sitting while my uncle was in the hospital. Now that I was here, she thought I should take Buster, the golden retriever. I thought the neighbor might have been, quote, forgetful, because she seemed to think my uncle had just passed last week. Either way, I fell in love with Buster, and his presence was exactly what I needed. I even thought it would be a tremendous present to bring him home to my girls. I just hope my wife would feel the same way.
Okay.
I like how you did that without consulting the wife.
He don't give a fuck about his wife. Clearly,
he's just gonna show up.
It's giving he is his own man with a wife and kids. Like, not he is a husband and father, but he has a wife and kids.
That is, yeah, exactly.
I feel so bad for her. God, she's a married single mama too. That is terrible.
Married single mama. And she might be owner of a dog soon.
Fuck him. Take that motherfucking. I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, don't be mean to the dog.
I'm not gonna be mean to the dog.
Good.
I'm gonna be mean to him, though.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. He might deserve it. He sounds like he deserves it. Okay. Even the dog could tell something was wrong with the house. Buster accepted his new living arrangements pretty quickly, but would never willingly go upstairs. This was all right with me at the time. I thought it would make it easier to keep track of him. Then, Buster disappeared. Literally, 1 second he was standing right behind me as I was opening the treat jar to give him a snack. My eyes left him for just a moment to put the jar back, and then he was gone. I ran through the whole house, calling his name. The kitchen was connected to the living room, and on the other end of that was the master bedroom and study. The other end of the kitchen led to a dining room, which was connected to the entrance hall, that also led into the living room and stairs to the second floor. After walking upstairs, you had a choice of right or left, along a balcony that overlooked the living room on one side and entrance on the other. Going left led immediately to a guest room and game room. Going right led to 2 more guest rooms and a bathroom at the end of the hall. It's a big-ass house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm waiting for the fucking ballroom.
Literally.
Holy shit.
The grand dining hall.
Right. Where are we feasting at?
Right.
Jesus Christ. Okay. He needs to start looking for those heirlooms.
That's what I am saying.
It sounds like he's not looking. He's bringing Buster back with him. I looked in every room and had to accept that somehow the dog made it outside, even though there was no doggy door and every door and window had been closed and locked. So, I searched the surrounding neighborhood for another hour before giving up. I was thinking about making flyers when I opened the front door and heard Buster scrambling toward me from the kitchen. I was ecstatic, of course, but I couldn't wrap my head around how I could have missed him. I let Buster sleep in the bed with me that night. In hindsight, it was a huge mistake, but it made me feel better at the time.
Now? Okay.
What?
I don't like that this man is pulling Buster into his mess, but okay.
Into his mess.
Into his mess.
Crazy. What mess?
Buster hasn't done anything. Okay.
Things picked up at work, though, and I soon forgot all about the strangeness surrounding this house. Clients called me constantly, but we were getting a lot done, and I landed multiple large contracts in a row. I was working around the clock, but I knew I'd be due a promotion once I returned to the home office. Several times, I'd get lost in a phone call or spreadsheet and suddenly find that it was nighttime. I'd be so absorbed with work that I would block out Buster whining for food or to go outside.
Not the neglect.
Neglect, bro.
So you're neglecting your wife, neglecting your kids, and neglecting your dog. God damn.
Yeah, damn.
Dude,
I can't gun for you, my guy. I can't. No.
You ain't got no supporters over here.
Yeah, none. Oh, take the dog back to the neighbor at least.
At least.
Feel like I'm not.
The old lady ain't doing nothing. She can let him outside.
Yeah, like, god damn. I started to set alarms to keep track, but I had too many important clients to slow down. I was on top of the world, but my health was starting to suffer. I'd forget to eat and even sleep sometimes. There was always something else to do or someone to talk to. I even got better at taking care of Buster. Better than I was taking care of myself, at least.
He sound like you.
Okay. That's uncalled for. I don't neglect the children.
You don't.
So, he can't sound like me.
No, he said he got better at taking care of Buster better than he took care of himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, parents are meant to take better care of their children than they do themselves.
But it's also important for parents to take care of themselves.
I get by.
Yeah.
I get by. I'm still alive, aren't I?
Barely.
Okay. Let's move on. God, shots. Shoot your shots at this guy. Okay? Leave me out for a bit. Okay. And then my good mood ended with a bang. Literally. Buster was whining behind me as I finished another spreadsheet. Then we both heard a door slam upstairs. For the first time since I brought him inside, Buster ran upstairs by himself. I almost called the cops, but I felt silly with a phone in my hand. I started to doubt that I had even heard anything at all. And if there were an intruder, surely Buster would have been making more noise. So I mustered all the courage I could manage and crept upstairs with a frying pan as my weapon. It was dark upstairs, but enough moonlight was coming in from the downstairs windows for me to make out Buster standing in front of the bathroom. I had purposely closed every door when I last came through here looking for the lost dog, but this door now was wide open. I flicked on the hallway light, but nothing happened. With no better ideas, I raised my frying pan high and walked slowly to the bathroom.
Okay, Rapunzel.
I so bad I've been thinking that this whole time, so I gotta get me one of these.
I have got to get me one of these.
There was no window in here, so it was pure darkness inside. I was terrified. Bizarrely, Buster just looked frozen. His tail stood straight up, and he just stood there, pointed toward the door. I tried to take it as a good sign.
No. No. That is unequivocally a bad sign.
It's a good sign because there's not like a skerfuffle happening. You know? So everything's very still.
Unequivocally a bad sign.
I thought you were the one supposed to be putting toxic positivity up.
I don't have it for this guy.
I know. He's dumb and stupid and dumb. I tried to take it as a good sign that he still wasn't barking. That's what finally got me through the threshold and into the bathroom. The whole time my eyes had been getting used to the darkness, and the bathroom was too small for there to have been anyone in there without me noticing. I started to relax when I took a step forward into something sticky. I suddenly realized that I had my cell phone in my pocket. I pulled it out and turned it on to cast some light on the floor. I immediately dropped it at the sight of the bright red liquid that surrounded my feet. I fled the upstairs, and this triggered Buster to follow. This time, I had no trouble calling the police. Thankfully, there was already a patrol car nearby, so 2 officers arrived within a couple of minutes. Their powerful flashlights cut through the darkness like knives, but they soon found nothing. Nothing was wrong with the upstairs lights. Something did appear to be wrong with my pipes, though, as they called out from above that the puddle was just rusty water. Because of their insistence, I climbed up the stairs again and clearly saw a muddy brown puddle in the bathroom. The banging must have been from the pipe breaking. Both cops had a laugh at my expense, but were otherwise understanding. They even gave me a number of a good plumber, though my cell phone was ruined after I dropped and left it in the puddle.
You... Pause. So, you just had 2 kids. So we don't have time to be dealing with this house. But we moved to the house and spent more than a month at the house alone with the dog. And in all that time, we haven't gotten an inspection on this house. We selling a house that hasn't been inspected by anybody at all ever.
That's what it sounded like.
I bet I know why it's not selling.
Well, probably because also you have this creep workaholic in there. You're probably banging on the door, and he's probably not. He's probably just fucking with his spreadsheets. He can't even be bothered to do anything. He's looking up, and it's fucking nighttime.
I also don't trust that. That feels... You're free. You ain't got no wife nagging you. You ain't got no kids crying for you. You just got to take this dog out of her. It feels odd.
It is odd.
It feels like if he was at home in his normal life, he wouldn't be working that hard.
He's working his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is a little sus how hard he's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the point where he can't break his focus. Like,
he's very, very focused.
yeah, that feels odd.
Yeah. Here's the other thing that bothered me about it, right? So it's nighttime. You're on your computer doing whatever bullshit. The dog, you, whatever, bang, upstairs. He said, so there's enough moonlight downstairs for me to make out the shape of the dog upstairs by the bathroom. To open it, but it's complete darkness in the bathroom because there's not a window. So we got a little moonlight in the hallway, whatever. Then he remembers that he has his phone in his pocket and uses the light from the screen to shine a light on the ground. Right? This is only 5 years ago. We had flashlights on our phones.
We did.
Okay?
We did.
So instead of stumbling up in the darkness upstairs, would your first instinct not to pull out the flashlight on the phone?
We never claimed this guy was intelligent.
I don't think it takes much.
We never claimed this guy had much. He thought it was a good idea to go move into his uncle's house to sell it quickly away from his wife and 2 newborn children. He's not struggling as a genius and take on a dog that he's then going to take home and make his wife's responsible.
Okay. Deep breath.
All I'm saying is that thus far he has not demonstrated good decision-making skills, so his poor decision-making does not surprise me.
Okay. Now, see, I would just think basic instinct, but okay, moving right along. They even gave me a number of a good plumber, though my cell phone was ruined after I dropped and left it in the puddle.
Pause. How you call the police? I was thinking about that. I figured that he dropped his phone in the water because he's Butterfingers like the last guy. And I assume he picked it up and ran out. How did you call the police if your phone was ruined?
I bet he has a landline.
I hope he didn't mention that. But
Because he said...
okay, but if you have a landline, then what is stopping you from also calling the plumber? You can't call the plumber because your phone is busted, but you could call the police.
Ooh, plot hole. Oh, no. Yeah, sorry, got ahead of ourselves.
Oh.
I would have to use the one landline in the kitchen from now on.
Oh. It's the next series. Okay. Okay. I'll throw that. Come give him a beat.
Oh, that's hilarious. I like how I just assumed he had a landline, though. Yeah. Nobody has landlines anymore, but I'm just like, it has to happen.
Well, that's what I assumed also. But then he's like, well, I can't use my phone to call the plumber because it's busted. But I'm like, okay, but you called. So
the police, right.
Why is it a problem?
Right, now it's an issue, yeah. But no, it's actually not an issue. So because he's definitely going to still call him from the landline, so it was never a problem.
He just wanted to mention the fact that his phone was broke.
Literally. Yeah. Like, they kind of just imagine the cops being like, yeah, here's the number of a good plumber. Well, I dropped my phone on the ground. I can't call him now. Don't worry, I have a landline.
Okay.
Good night, sir.
Get weirdo.
Fuck. Yeah, okay. I let them out and promised to call the plumber first thing in the morning. Yet, as exhausted as I was, I couldn't go to sleep over the excitement. So I stayed up to draft some more important documents for my company. Before I knew it, Buster had made another mess in the living room. I was dead tired and said some things to Buster that maybe I shouldn't have. And I did some things to him that I know I really shouldn't have.
I'm sorry?
This guy's the fucking worst.
None of this is Buster's fault.
This dude is the worst. Bro.
Okay.
I decided to do something about the stress I had been under, and I spoke to my supervisor that same morning. To my surprise, they were happy to let me have the week off, as a sort of mental vacation. Just like that, all my outstanding work was taken away. With nothing else to do, I tried to focus on Buster. I played games with him and fed him a bunch of treats to make up for my earlier neglect. Then, I found the first message. I didn't notice it for some time since I had been avoiding the second floor.
Pause.
Yeah.
I just want to make note.
Make it.
That he's been at this house for over a month.
Yeah, it sounds like about a month and a half at this point.
At this point, yeah. And not once, as he mentioned, talking to his wife.
I guarantee you he has not.
And now your phone broken? Do they have the landline phone number? Do you even know your wife's phone number by heart to even give her a call?
Highly doubtful. Highly, highly, highly doubtful.
Okay.
Hopefully he didn't need it for the map in order to drive back home.
Great.
Yeah, he's really loathsome. Absolutely. I didn't notice it for some time since I'd been avoiding the second floor. But I realized that I hadn't actually called the plumber. Before doing so, I went upstairs to see if things had gotten any worse. Instead, I immediately saw a message written in red on the hallway wall. It read, "Losing your mind?" For a second, I kinda did. I was scared to death at the thought that someone had to have sneaked into my house while I was there. Probably when I was sleeping.
Babe, it's giving somebody already lives in the house. It's giving there's somebody in the attic or the crawl space.
Or in the wall.
Trying to get you to get the fuck out so they can get back to squatting.
Right. Yeah, like, please leave.
Right.
I won't bear repeating everything I said or did right after. Let's just say I hadn't become any braver since the banging. Eventually, I unlocked my bedroom door and made my way into the kitchen with Buster leading the way. I called the police again. Those same two officers were able to show up, and then slowly we cleared every inch of the house. Yet we found no one. Everything was locked. No sign of forced entry. The police actually took me seriously, something that bewildered me at the time, and admitted that this isn't the first house in this neighborhood to experience this. There had been a series of break-ins where nothing was stolen, but the police officers still offered to have a car sit outside for the night. Even though I took them up on this, I soon realized that I'd never get to sleep tonight in this house. So I called my only friend in town, and really in the whole state, an old college roommate who coincidentally lived 30 minutes away. He offered to pick me and Buster up in a few hours, so I busied myself with packing up my suitcase. I didn't know how long I would need, so I pretty much just packed everything I had brought with me to the house in the first place. I left my room to pick up some doggy toys when my friend called to say he was waiting outside. I decided to hang up the phone and meet him immediately. I needed the human company, and he could help me move my stuff. But the driveway was empty. There was no friend, no car. I called him back immediately, and he insisted he was outside. I listened to him get out of his car and walk up to the front door. He knocked, and I could hear the door open, and an elderly woman greet him. My friend asked for my name and mentioned my uncle. The woman said she'd never heard of either of us. After thanking her, my friend left and asked me if I'd gotten all that. I told him I must have given him the wrong address. He rattled off the correct one and confirmed he was there. I walked out to the street and looked back at the numbers written on the curb and on the mailbox. Only there weren't any numbers. Just a message, losing your mind, on the curb, written in red.
So then that's when we go back in the house and we pick up the phone and we say, okay, I just need you to drive down the road and I will be walking. You'll see me. I have a dog and all of my bags. I'm wearing a black shirt that says Beers and Buds on the front and it's got pictures on the back. You getting a full police description of my ass. And you will see me walking down. I'm walking eastbound down this road. Just keep driving down the road and you will see me on the road because I'm not staying here. Hell no. Not the numbers are gone. Do we know what the uncle died of?
Yeah, he just said he died.
What if he gave that house, the uncle gave that house to him because it's like, you're my least favorite.
I might, but you've always been the worst.
You've always been the worst out of all of them.
I see how you treat your wife.
Precisely. Even the uncle knew. Even the uncle knew. He was like, yes, look.
They weren't particularly close because he's always just hated it.
Correct.
Like, we weren't particularly close. The uncle's like, I fucking can't stand. I
can't stand him. I'm praying my house takes him out so his wife and kids don't have to suffer.
What did Buster do?
Buster can go live with the wife and kids.
I'm saying,
like, go back with the neighbor.
No, I mean, as far as like the uncle, like I feel like he wouldn't have condemned Buster to that.
Yeah.
Sure. But maybe he hoped the neighbor would just hold on.
Yeah, maybe he just hoped the neighbor would fall in love with Buster and be like, oh yeah, this is my dog Buster.
Right. That didn't happen. So
she was old though, so she's probably like, taking care of this golden retriever ain't great at my age.
Yeah, well, Uncle gets a ding for that one.
He does.
But the rest of it, yeah. The temptation to leave right away was great. I could just start walking and never stop.
Correct.
But I had to get my stuff, and more importantly, Buster. So I entered the house one last time. When I came back to the room, my suitcase was empty. Everything I had just spent the last hour packing back up was in its proper place. Despite how impossible this was, I focused on only one goal. We needed to leave. I put a leash on Buster and was shocked to see how haggard he was. I resolved to make it up to him when this was all over.
This house is hurting him.
Right. Well, they're leaving, so. I tried to leave out the front door like nothing was wrong, but I couldn't open it. The knob turned freely, but the deadbolt wouldn't slide back. I was really scared now, but Buster's presence helped. I knelt down to give him a hug, and he gave me an idea while licking my face. Whatever was happening, it sure wasn't a result of a maniac hiding in my house. Still, I didn't know what forces were actually opposing me, so I walked to the backyard and said loudly, "Well, Buster, time for a little walk." The glass door slid open easily. Buster bounded out happily. I guess it had been a long time since I let him outside. I followed more tentatively and for the first time examined the backyard closely. There was an iron fence surrounding the yard with another space between the bars that Buster could slip through. And then I saw it. A tree that grew too close to the fence and had several branches extending through it and above it. I assumed the gate would be supernaturally locked too, so this was my exit. Buster didn't need any prodding. He waited patiently for me on the other side as I painfully pulled myself up and over the fence. I was suddenly aware of how weak and tired my recent lifestyle had made me. When I was in the process of climbing down the tree on the other side, Buster growled once and then took off like a shot towards the nearby hill. I jumped down and gave chase. He disappeared over the top and I scrambled to keep up on the surprisingly steep surface. Luckily, I found where someone had laid some stone bricks into the side for an easier way up. It was still steep enough that I had to focus on placing my feet correctly to keep from sliding, and so I was looking down when my next reach up resulted in my hand grabbing carpet. Confused, I looked up to see the second floor landing. I looked down to see the rest of the stairs that led to the entrance hall and living room of the house. Buster was nowhere to be found. You know what this is giving me? You ever watched the movie The Secret Window with Johnny Depp?
Nope.
Oh wow, it's a good-ass movie. But basically, like, he's fighting against this guy that's, like, coming for him and, like, all this other stuff. And then, like, at the end, it's just, like, he's actually nuts. Like, this whole time, he was actually fucking crazy. I'm wondering about that with this guy.
Yeah.
It could be supernatural, but...
It's feeling supernatural. You told me one moment I'm running up a hill, the next moment I'm running up the stairs inside the house.
Well, my thought is, like, I feel like he's losing time.
Right. He's definitely,
Yeah, he's losing time because he goes back inside and his dog looks haggard suddenly. His shit is all put away. You know, like, to me, it's giving missing time. I'm going to paint the fucking walls type shit, you know? Especially if he's just decaying away, you know? So, I mean, he could be losing time because of the supernatural shit too, but I just, I think it's more creepy to me to imagine that you're actually crazy and that you think you're walking up a hill and then you black out and then the next time you wake up, you're actually on the stairs. That's fucked.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's just something.
The mental illness is more scary than the supernatural.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Just put me back in the house is fine. Just yoink me up and put me in. That's okay. But if I'm actually fucking walking back over here, like, no, I'm good actually, and just automated, and then it just feels like, and I'm like, oh, I'm laying on the stairs. Fuck that.
Yeah, I can see how that's more scary because, like, technically that is in your control. Right, whereas the supernatural would be out of your control, right? But yourself is in your control, but you can't control yourself.
Exactly.
Terrifying. Yeah,
I feel that. Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then because I also have to wonder, like, what do I do when I'm not me?
Right.
What the fuck is going on?
Exactly.
You know, apparently what other things while doing.
Yeah.
Busting up pipes.
I'm putting away clothes.
I'm breaking light bulbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buster was nowhere to be found. Demoralized and dead tired, I crawled the final steps and just sat on the landing for a while, occasionally calling for Buster. Eventually, the kitchen phone rang. Whatever ghosts were messing with me, I realized they couldn't stop outside forces from helping. I tumbled down the stairs in my haste and landed hard on the cold tiles below, but I was only dazed for a second and soon was in the kitchen with the phone in my hand. My wife's warm voice filled me with hope. She was concerned that she hadn't heard from me in a while. I couldn't recall the last time I had even tried. She was trying to tell me that my work hadn't heard from me in a week, while I tried to tell her to call the police. Her words gave me pause, though. I asked, What do you mean? I was given the week off. Dear, I thought you were supposed to continue working as soon as you got there. Yeah, but they gave me a week off because of all the stress I've been under. Wait a second. How long have I been out here? Honey, you've been gone almost 9 days now.
What?
But he said a month.
He did. But she said 9 days.
The time is not timing.
The time is not timing. There's something fucked up about the time here.
Yeah, because now he's not losing time. Now he's gaining time.
Yeah.
Now it's all fucked now.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. My stomach sunk, but I didn't hesitate to say, listen, you need to call the cops. Something's wrong. I think I'm having a medical emergency. I had just been trying to come up with an excuse to limit the amount of followed questions, but I ended up realizing that this was actually the most likely explanation. Just suffering from a gas leak or a brain tumor. Ironically, either of those options seemed preferable than living in a haunted house. My wife asked, baby, what's wrong? Are you okay?
I know. I'm just telling you, I'm in a medical emergency currently.
What's wrong? I thought I saw a shadow move out of the corner of my eye as I answered. Yes, I'm okay, but no, I need help. There's something wrong about this house. You aren't making any sense. Just listen to me. Call the police and tell them my uncle's name. Tell them to come to this house, and an ambulance might be needed. Please help me. Please help you? Pretty please with a cherry on top? I stared at the phone in my hand as my wife's voice continued to come out of it. It sounded like her, but in a mocking tone I've never actually heard from her before. She said, does your tummy hurt? When's the last time you ate? I wonder what Buster tastes like. Damn. I slammed the phone. You know what that reminds me of? You remember that spot in Outlast 2 when you're in the school and you're running for your life and you're back to being an adult man? And you pick up the phone and the guy's like, oh, we're going to get you help. We're going to get you help right away. And then the pastor is like, yeah, and then you really are a sick fuck. You know that?
Hello? Hello? Oh, thank God you're alive. I need you to stay calm. We're going to get you help. We'll get you out of there. I want you to find a place to hide. Someplace safe where you can remember the taste of her kiss when you felt her neck break, you diseased cocksucker.
What if then the tongue comes out and licks your face? That's what this is giving. Disgusting. I slammed the phone down, but whatever it was on the other side was right. My stomach was hurting. I couldn't remember the last time I'd eaten. On cue, I heard Buster whining from upstairs. Only after I started running towards the stairs did I notice just how bruised and sore my legs were from my spill down those steps. I pushed through the pain and climbed the stairs yet again. Buster was back in front of the bathroom, lying on his side and looking thinner than I'd ever seen him. Losing your mind was written all over the hallway now, including on the ceiling and the floor. I no longer had any doubt the messages were written in blood. Some of them were still dripping. I walked over and picked up Buster while banging started at my front door. I would have jumped if Buster hadn't been weighing me down. I heard the front door open, and whoever it was identified themselves as the police. I even recognized the voice as belonging to one of the officers who had visited previously. Why can't I remember his name? After calling out that I was upstairs, I turned with Buster and found the hallway stretched before me, many times its original length. Despite how thin he looked, Buster felt heavier than ever. I knew this was all just some sort of trick.
I mean, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The cops aren't real. I'm calling that right now. But also, I feel like the malnourishment is probably what's making Buster extra heavy right now.
So thin, but I can't fucking lift my arm.
Right, yeah, because you haven't had any water or food. Or
Yeah, so clearly neither has Buster.
Yeah.
Like, it's been so tired. But my thing is, like, you're haggard. The dog is haggard. Some time has clearly passed. You've only been gone for 9 days, but then is the ghost bitch fucking with him, right? Oh, you've been gone for 9 days, honey. Well, has been. It was in your mind.
Right.
You know? Yeah. The time skip is crazy.
Yeah.
Also, I think the police are real. I really think this dude is losing his absolute shit.
I think the police were real at first, but the police that just walked in, those are not real.
Okay. I knew this was all just some sort of trick to not get me in touch with the police officer. I thought I must have really been talking to my wife. She had to have come through with calling the police, and the ghost just distorted the end of the call. So I started my trek back to the stairs and shuffled my feet as fast as I could, yelling all the way. But then a voice answered the police officer, a woman's voice, my wife's voice. I could hear her say, "I'm sorry, my husband wasn't feeling well. He's resting in the bedroom. Can I help you?" I screamed as loud as I could just to get attention, but it was no use. I heard the officer say, "Well, I'd like to check up on him all the same." Sure, come in. He's right through here." It was right out of a nightmare. I was sweating profusely, while every step seemed to get me nowhere. I tried to speed up, but the hallway just stretched further. And then I heard a man's blood-curdling scream from downstairs. Suddenly the hallway snapped back, and I found myself somehow right at the top of the stairs. My momentum couldn't be stopped. I fell down the stairs and landed hard, on top of Buster.
Poor Buster.
He howled in pain,
Yeah.
but at least he was alive.
Barely.
Yeah, for real. What did Buster do in all this?
Right. Poor Buster. God, he did not suffer like this.
Right. This is unbelievable. Justice for Buster.
Literally.
I saw a long, thick trail of blood go around the corner and under my closed bedroom door. There was still a shadow of something under the door. I painfully crept to the kitchen and grabbed my trusty frying pan before making my way back to the bedroom door as quietly as I could. My eyes watched the moving shadows nervously. Whatever was waiting in there had killed a man.
Stop.
Stopping.
There are no knives in his kitchen.
I know, I thought that too. I was like, you really just going for the throwing.
Like, sure, the first time, okay, yeah, we can hit a frying pan. We might have to hit an intruder. We're not trying to kill nobody. Something is clearly fucking with us. It's time to get murderous.
I will use this.
We're gonna commit to the frying pan. My eyes watched the moving shadows nervously. Whatever was waiting there had killed a man. That meant it could kill me. But if it could have a physical impact, then surely it had to be susceptible to a physical impact too. So, I raised the frying pan and slowly started to turn the handle. Before I made much progress, the door flew open on its own, and something turned suddenly to me. I swung my frying pan down. The cop stood before me, a smile frozen on his face. We both looked down at the knife plunged into his chest. My hand was still wrapped around the handle. He fell to the side, and I fell backwards to sit heavily on the now clean floor. I was positive I'd picked up the frying pan. I could remember its weight. But now I also remembered going to the kitchen and pulling out the knife. I seriously wondered if I was losing my mind. I looked down to find I had the knife in my hands again. I dropped it at once and crawled back to check on Buster. He wasn't moving. I put my head down in his flank and was devastated to feel he was still warm but not breathing.
Yeah, you crushed him. After neglecting him severely.
Poor Buster. Justice for Buster.
Justice for Buster.
I didn't know what to do, so I did nothing.
Oh, yeah. That's always the best thing to do.
Listen, he's in shock. Can't believe what's going on.
I'm starting to think I'm losing my mind. Starting?
Right. I did nothing for a long time. I was lethargic, but somehow made it to the couch in the living room. I waited there until nightfall, and then slept on the couch. When I woke up, I waited some more. I wasn't sure what I was waiting for, but nothing horrible was happening to me while I waited. I wasn't in a hurry to change that. But the bodies of Buster and the cops were still there. I needed to do something. My stomach rumbled as I finally got off the couch. That was another problem with just staying put. First things first, I found a shovel in an outdoor closet attached to the backyard porch. Okay, in this moment I will say I am better than this guy. Okay, because when he said first things first, you haven't eaten in like days, it seems. I think they could probably wait. I do get to a point where I'm hungry enough. Like, there are times when I get home and I know you've fed the ferrets at like 4, whatever, and I'd like to feed them at 6:30 when I get home, but by the time I'm walking in the door, I'm starving, and I'm like, okay, they seem fine.
Yeah.
Let me eat something.
Yeah.
Even I do that. Okay? What do you mean first things first? Grab the
Also,
shovel.
this fucking incompetent man can't take care of himself. He probably didn't have food to eat.
No, that's true. Well, I mean, she asked how Buster tasted, and he's clearly not. I'm just saying. She put that out there.
She did put that out there. I just don't think he has the
Ability.
correct.
Yeah. First things first.
Or at the very least, can we get a glass of tap water? Let's rehydrate those organs, maybe. At the very least.
Nah, we're not. First things first is grab the shovel.
Okay.
See, and again, this is also giving the secret window.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what happened. This guy that's harassing him and saying, you stole my book.
How in the hell did a big money scribbling asshole like you get down to a little shit splat town in Mississippi and steal my goddamn story?
And he's like, I didn't steal your fucking book, dude. This is my book. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, you better unpublish it or things are gonna happen.
Not unpublished.
He said something to that effect. And I was like, it's already out there. I remember thinking that. But, yeah. So then, like, he's losing time. His dog is dead and, like, pickaxed outside. Like, people that are trying to help him are also dead. He's like, oh my God. It's, uncanny.
Maybe.
It's a good movie. I found a shovel in an outdoor closet attached to the backyard porch. Digging the hole was exhausting, so I settled for just trying to bury Buster now. I planned on getting to the cop after finding something to eat. I picked up Buster and carried him outside. His fur was still so warm. It was hard to believe he was gone, but there was no life left in his big brown eyes. I gently laid him down in the hole and got to work. Sometime later, I wandered into the kitchen and raided the pantry. The house was quiet apart from my efforts. Whenever I stopped moving, the silence was complete. I wondered if the ghosts had just been trying to make me a murderer after all. Now their goal had been met. Maybe they would leave me alone for a while. Just in time. I was starving and didn't need any more distractions. I opened a box of cereal and had a handful to my lips when I paused. How could I tell I was actually eating what I was looking at? What if I had actually been opening a box of rat poison? I still wasn't sure what these ghosts were capable of. I imagined the food turning into worms after it was already in my mouth. With that thought, I threw the cereal to the ground and stomped off, no longer hungry. I needed to concentrate my efforts on leaving this place. Right on cue. I walked by the front door. It was wide open. Instinctively, I made a leap for it before stopping with my outstretched hand, just a foot short of the door. This had been another trick. I could see the door slamming shut in my face, or even taking a few of my fingers with it. I could feel a breeze enter the house, but I was too scared to move. This was the most impossible situation I'd ever been in, or even heard of. All my senses had failed me before. However, my need for freedom eventually caused my feet to move. Upon slowly exiting the house, I saw the cop car just sitting in my driveway. The door was unlocked, and the keys were sitting in the front seat. My mind went wild trying to explain the situation. Maybe the cop was secretly a murderer and had killed previous owners of this house. Maybe his sacrifice helped them move on. I couldn't think of any other explanation for my good luck at the time. So I just pushed my misgivings down and got in. I drove out of the neighborhood without incident, but I had new problems. I was in an unfamiliar city, driving a cop car with no money or other belongings on me, and I had no idea what to do next. So I kept driving. It felt so good to be free of that house. It felt good to see the sun. So I kept driving, on and on, left turn, right turn, left turn, right turn. No idea where I'm going. And then I realized I hadn't seen any other cars on the road for some time. Where was everybody? Where was I? The sinking feeling happened again, in the pit of my stomach, but also around my whole body. I sunk back into the car seat, and then realized I was sitting in an armchair, back in the living room of my uncle's house. My arms were up, like I was still holding onto a steering wheel. I started to cry with frustration as I stood up and screamed. How long had I been sitting there with a stupid grin, moving my arms up and down like a madman? I turned around and saw my work laptop at the dining room table. It was on and glowing at me. I walked over to it and saw that something was already written down in this post. It read, "Lost your mind? Good. Now you won't mind losing the rest." Suddenly, my fist felt weighed down. I raised it to find another kitchen knife in my hand. I dropped it immediately. I erased the message and started to type out a request for help. I ignored the screen and just focused on the keys, but I kept hitting them wrong, and another message slowly formed. "I'm sorry. I've disappointed you all. For the last time. Goodbye." I could have screamed again, but I noticed something had changed. I wasn't in the dining room anymore. I was in the study. I kept writing and writing and writing, and my own words started to come out. I have sent out emails requesting help. I've posted on the local police department's Facebook for assistance. I've just tried to keep writing no matter what. This is my latest attempt to keep my sanity. Whenever I've tried to take a break, I find myself in a new room with the new horrors descending on me. Once I opened the study door out to a hellish landscape and almost stepped out into the lava. I wasn't sure if it was all an illusion, but I didn't even want to have a vision of my feet burning, so I just closed the door and resumed writing. I'm not even sure this is all because of ghosts. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and the truth is simply that I have no idea what's going on. As I've gone over these crazy events, I've realized that I can't recall my uncle's name, or what he looked like. I'm not sure I ever had an uncle. I'm trying to think really hard about how I came here. Did I fly? Drive? I can't remember. Have I always been here? Even weirder, I can't remember my realtor's name, or even what gender they are. I've met them in person several times. Why don't I know things that I should? I can't even remember the name of my daughters or my wife. Am I even a father?
To be fair. To be fair.
Listen, you are. Okay. So they mentioned that last one is no.
Correct.
Am I even a person? I know, I must be, because here I am writing this small study, but now that I think about it, I can't remember who my parents are, what they look like, or anything about my childhood. Now I just remember this house and all the nightmares, walking and other ways I've experienced here. I'm feeling a lot like I was back in the cop car. I found a way forward, but I really didn't know what to do next. This is not a way to live, and I'm getting more and more tired. I'm so hungry. And I'm finding it harder to focus. I keep hearing voices, and they're getting louder. I know if I stop writing, I won't last long, but I'm running out of things to say. My hands are tired. I'm tired. I'm so tired. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dogs. I need to keep writing, but I don't know what to say anymore. What's my name? I don't know. I'll die if I stop writing. I'll die if I stop working. A, B, C, E, R, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, O, Q, P, R, S, T, U, V, W, Y, X, and Z. The quick brown fox. The late dog. Buster. I miss Buster. I wish I could pet him one last time. But was he ever real? Is anything? I'm so tired. So hungry. I need to focus. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy. Goodbye. The quick brown. I'm sorry. Jumped over, pointed. You lazy dog. Goodbye. I'm quick. I jumped. Last time of lazy dogs. I'm sorry. Jumped over. Disappointed you lazy. For the lazy dogs. Goodbye. I'm sorry, I've disappointed you all for the last time. Goodbye.
You know, towards the end there, it started to remind me of that I Have the Mighty song, 211 Winchester.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is so accurate.
Mm-hmm. We're towards the end. He's like, "Oh, have we always been here?" Wow. That was a lot.
That one was a lot. I really liked that one.
I like that one too.
I really, really liked it. I love the
Especially because they made the
psychological.
guy so unlikable.
They did.
They made him really unlikable.
And honestly, at the end, I felt really bad though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Nobody deserves to suffer like that. I
that
always
is
view that.
bad. And then the fact that like maybe he's not such a shithead because these people might not even exist.
Well,
They might not. He might just be insane though, and so he's losing those people.
Right, yeah.
So like Buster,
I think it'd be really. I think it specifically has something to do with the house.
Oh,
Yeah. I think his life was normal before he got to the house. Then after he got to the house.
yeah, it could be like the Winchester thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're just there to party and whatever, and it's like, oh, it's a bit chilly in here.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see something like that. But just like the way that he loses it on the end is just so jarring.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just so back and forth because you'll have those moments of cognizance, like I miss Buster, but what? And then you're like, holy shit, you're spazzing the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
My God. And then I thought it was kind of cool when he did the ABCD thing, and then he did it again, but they were all fucked up.
Yeah.
Now that was difficult to read. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You did a great job. I'm not. You did a great job. I was engrossed.
Yeah,
I was like, what is he? What? Huh? Yeah. Because I was engrossed. You did a great job.
thank you. I tried on that. I was like, oh,
Yeah. That was
really intense.
That was really intense.
Yeah, I venture to say that's one of my favorite stories that we've read.
Oh, yeah.
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 I do think he actually killed Buster.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's something similar to the secret window, kind of, in that he probably called the cop himself when he thought he was talking to his wife
Yeah.
and killed the cop.
Mhm.
So here's my thought process, right? So he's trying to get help. This is kind of early-ish on,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he sends the friend the address. This is the address that he also showed up to. He verified the address, right? He sends the friend the exact same address,
Mhm.
okay? That friend goes there, happens to meet an older woman who says, I've never heard of this, right? So if the house has the power to do all the shit that it's been doing to him, like to unpack all his shit, to be writing things on the street, I could see it to where it's kind of like a phantom house thing. Like, so where when he drove up to it, it's kind of like in Spirited Away.
Yeah. Where you could see it because it's welcoming you.
And then it,
It disappears for
Yeah.
everybody else.
so like you said, he might not have had an uncle.
Right.
Is something could have summoned him here, probably because he's a shithead.
Probably.
You're a stupid man! A stupid, stupid man!
Probably. That suck.
I may have done something.
Okay, she went to a voodoo witch or something. She said, please get me out of this. She said, please, I have made a horrible mistake. I cannot afford a lawyer. I don't want to pay for a lawyer. In fact, I think that I should get everything because I just put in all this work for this deadbeat piece of shit man. Yeah. And this man can't even make his own goddamn sandwiches for lunch.
So I thought it was super, super fucking cool when he was climbing the hill.
And then all of a sudden he was at the top of the stairs.
Because I can see myself there. I think that's what's so terrifying about it.
And then, no, okay. And so that part also, in conjunction with him driving the cop car and then being in the armchair. That's the part that really got me because I thought that, okay, they're fucking with him and they just got him driving in circles.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you've been sitting in the living room the whole time,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Just sitting there. Like he said, like a madman.
He's talking about, oh yeah, the sun feels so great on my skin. What sun?
Yeah. It's like that guy that had a carbon monoxide leak in his house. And have you ever heard of that where he was leaving all these notes around and he was terrified?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Short story. So this guy went on Reddit and he was like, oh my God, I need cameras. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I think my landlord is sneaking in. I'm scared, but the landlord knows things he shouldn't know. I have Post-it notes on my computer screen just with appointments and with, like, don't forget about your sandwich in the fridge and different shit like that. It's all over all the time. And so somebody on Reddit was like, check your carbon monoxide sensors.
Yeah.
And he did, and yeah, he was leaving himself Post-its constant, because he was like, it's so weird, they're in my handwriting, and I'm scared. And then he went on back on, he was like, you guys saved me.
Yeah.
I was like...
Because I would have thought I was losing my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going crazy. I need to check myself in.
Yeah. And then there was another girl, similar but not. She had a similar thing that was happening to her, but she was like, yeah, I keep getting super, super tired. And then, like, I wake up and things aren't quite right, but I'm just like, ah. And then people were like, check your carbon monoxide sensors. And so she was like, yeah, my food will be half eaten, whatever. And so she was like, yeah, I'm going to take your guys' advice. I'm going to go stay with my parents for the weekend or whatever. And she comes back and her shit has been ransacked. Her shit is fucked up. And so there's, I guess, notes all over the house saying, please don't leave, come back, please don't leave. And what it was is the landlord's son had access to all the keys, and he was obsessed with her. So he literally was like living in the walls. Or like he was putting sleeping pills in her shit, and he would just watch her sleep. And he was eating her food while she was... So you never know if it's you or if it's the outside. That's the terrifying thing. All right. If you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe. It's on all of our, anywhere you listen to your podcasts.
Anywhere.
YouTube. Check us out.
All over the place.
Yeah, and leave a comment too.
Please. We need the engagement.
We do. Please.
We are begging you.
Thanks. Okay. Let's not beg too heavy.
No, I'm begging you. Please. If you care about people at all.
People at all.
You will leave a like and you will leave a comment and you will tell the world that you enjoyed this and you will share this podcast with everybody who you love, like, hate. I don't give a damn what their relationship to you is, as long as they're listening to the podcast. Love every person who has ever and will ever watch our podcast or listen to an episode and gives us any support whatsoever, because you don't have to give it, You don't. It is optional.
And if they want to send us their stories,
please send it to laughsinthedarkpod@gmail.com, and we'll read your stories here on the podcast, and we'll tell you what they think.
If we get passionate about the characters, that means you fleshed them out.
You fleshed them out real good.
You made them insufferable, and we commend you for that connection.
If you can make somebody that we hate, that's an extra star for you. You get a star right off rip.
Yeah, somebody does dumbass shit.
Somebody who's just a stupid idiot. And probably a man.
Okay, see.
Probably. I said probably. I didn't say definitely. I didn't say he had to be. I'm just saying. Not all men.
No, I hear you on that. It's just the preconceived notion for me. Yeah, and you know what that's like is I'm like, yeah, and be wary if you have a story about somebody driving. Make sure it ain't a woman. Most likely. Just most likely. I'm just not all women. Still risky. That's all I'm saying. That's
even though most accidents are caused by men because they drive more recklessly.
I'm going with the stereotype, right? Mm-hmm. And so you also
go with the statistic.
Was the statistic that the men are the stupid dumb ones? Because that's the one that you did. Yeah, yours is pretty across the board.
No comment.
The fifth then.
Correct.
Damn.
It's 1:10 in the morning.
Book.
All right. That's the end for us.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Send us shit. Bye.